Right now. Nick, you are off camera. And who else is off camera?
It say mine is on.
Oh, I just can't see you. Are you looking at another screen?
No, I'm looking at all y'all. I could screenshot my screen.
Oh, I don't know why I can't see you.
Cause when I turn it off, it say off, and then I don't know why.
Hmm. Okay. All right, you guys. So we are live. And let me turn down my volume so that I can see while it's streaming and make sure that others can see. Wonderfulness. Yeah, I don't know, Nick, why I can't see your beautiful face. Oh, I shouldn't call you beautiful, huh? Handsome face.
Nah,
So
either or is
someone,
cool.
you said what?
Either or is cool.
So some way, shape, or form, though. I don't know what you need to do to correct that, Joellian. I see yours, so work on that for me, Nick. Try to figure it out. So everybody, for those of you guys that are tapped in with us today, my name is Tony McNeil. For those of you that already know me, I'm a community organizer with Faith in the Valley here in Stockton, California. Um, and I do organizing in several different areas. One of the issue areas that I do organizing in is surrounding gun violence reduction and police accountability. So I have had the privilege and opportunity of hanging out with and working with some youth and young adults um, over the past 5 weeks in a project that we are working on called the Black Youth Collaborative. Wait, am I saying it right? What's it called? BYCF, Black Youth Collaborative Fellowship.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. BYCF. So today I have some special guests with me, and there are a combination of youth and young adults that are from California and from St. Louis. So I would love for us to go around and introduce ourselves, and I'm going to start with the those that are from the fellowship here in Stockton, California. So let's start with Nick. Can you introduce yourself?
All right, my name is Nick Tulliver. I'm from Stockton, California. I'm 18. That's right.
Cool beans. Popcorn it to somebody. Who you want to go next?
Joel.
Uh, my name is Joellian Johnson, also part of the fellowship. I'm out here in Stockton, California, and I'm 22. Carry on.
Tyrion, that's you. I did mute you, so
My name is Terry, and I'm from Stockton, California.
how old are you? And were you guys in St. Louis? Can you introduce yourself?
No, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you introduce yourselves?
Okay, I'm Jalen Williams. I'm 18. I'm also part of BYCL from St. Louis.
My name is Hanaya Reed. I'm 18 and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
My name is Tavion Blanks. I'm part of this fellowship in St. Louis.
Well, it is very nice to meet you three, and thank you guys for joining the conversation. I super appreciate it. Also, I have with us someone who is from Fresno, California. Aaron, can you come off of mute and introduce yourself?
I'm Aaron Foster.
How old are you, and what do you do? I think he's going to go outside. Okay, how old?
I'm 50 years old, and I'm program manager for Advanced Peace Fresno.
All right. I'm 52, just so that y'all know. That's important. And the reason why I'm saying how old I am, you guys, is because I need y'all to know I'm like 2 generations removed from where you are now. And that's going to be important for this conversation that we're about to have, because what was going on when I was on the concrete, when I was growing up on the ground, is totally different from what it is that you guys are dealing with. And so that's going to be part of the dialogue. So, first question that I have for you guys today is, when you hear gun violence or gun violence reduction, when you hear me say gun violence reduction, what's the first thing that comes to mind? There is no right or wrong answer.
Shooting.
Shooting? Okay, so gun violence reduction. Somebody said the first thing that comes to mind is shooting. What else?
Inner city.
Inner city. Why inner city?
Usually I know like where I'm from in St. Louis, that's where I feel like most black people are living. Right now, more black people are starting to move out of the inner city, but yeah, right now that's where I think our largest population of black people are.
Okay, so inner city. What else? What else comes to mind when you hear gun violence or gun violence reduction?
I know for me, I just think law enforcement. I mean, I feel like that's usually the job they're assigned to do. So I think a law
Julian,
enforcement.
I know you sound
Yeah,
real loud to yourself. I want you to yell.
Can y'all hear me now? Is it good?
Say it again. Yeah.
I think of law enforcement just because usually like that's the job that they try and delegate to them, dealing with us. So I hear gun violence reduction. I think law enforcement.
Okay. Law enforcement. All right. What else? Nick, what comes to mind when you hear gun violence reduction work or gun violence reduction? What comes to mind? First thing.
It made me wonder how we can reduce it.
Okay. And so, if I tell you that the President of the United States released billions of dollars, and your city received millions of dollars, some of that millions of dollars was to go to your community in order to help reduce gun violence. The first thing that I want to know is, where do you think the money goes to?
You said when you say where do you think the money goes, like are you talking about where we want it to go or where it doesn't
Well,
go?
we're gonna get to where you want it to go, but where do you think it goes? Or you can say where you want it to go.
Yeah, in the city.
You want it to go to the city?
No, that's where you think it goes, like to the police and to the like the municipality, the city itself.
Okay. Okay. So the first, what about in Stockton, you guys? Do you think that that's where it goes? Nick, you said no. Joellen, you said yes. Nick, where do you think the funds go?
I think it just go anywhere that's gonna make them money.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I mean, certain parts of cities gotta look nice in order for people to visit it. Then people aren't visiting cities to go to the hood, so they putting money into establishments and stuff that people are gonna visit. They don't care about the hood; they just want to make money for the city.
And Joellen, you were saying yes. You think it does go to the city?
Yeah, no, I mean, like cases like this, I usually feel like their job is generally pumping up law enforcement. So like we see bolstering the cops right now and see fund that they're pushing for. So that's where I see the funds usually going.
Okay. So where would you want to see those funds go, you guys?
Like towards schools and stuff. And helping people get off the streets.
I think like community centers or whatever is the outlet for people who are affected by gun violence.
Yeah, like rec centers, like she said, community centers, like places for people to go.
Yeah, and that is true. Thank you, Isaiah. There is no right or wrong answer for this, because what you guys think is, to be honest with you, what you guys think 9 times out of 10 is the right answer. So in your communities, do you guys have things to do to keep you occupied?
At the high school, not really. No. And like it's some in high school, like a lot of people just play sports, but really besides that, not really. No.
Hmm. What about here in Stockton, Nick? What is there for the youth to do here in Stockton?
We can't do nothing in Stockton. We can't even go to the rink without our parents no more. And don't nobody want to go to the skating rink with their mama and dad. So it's like, you feel me? The kids can't do nothing out here. There's certain
Well,
times of the year where they make it so you can't go to the mall without parents because of what be going down at the mall. So it's like
Yeah.
Stockton is really nothing for us to be doing.
that's the same in St. Louis.
Yeah, like in our malls, they got an age limit. Like you gotta be over. Yeah, and the curfew like really early. I think the curfew is like 2 or 3 o'clock, and if you below a certain age, you can't be in there without an adult with you, or they'll just come get you and kick you out. It's like 17, 18. No,
It's like once you 18, you can like
So what about Fresno, Foster? Are there outlets for the youth in Fresno?
They are outlets, but they're limited. It's not everyday outlets. So we have to throw an event. So we give an event one day a week, summer basketball, but the rest of the days is not very much to do. I think that in a perfect world for me, every city is different, and we should start by asking the community, especially the youth in the community, what they would like, and just give them some safe passages to do the things that they like to do. And they always telling us about the money that's coming down. I think Fresno got an additional $177 million from the president through ARP, American Rescue Plan, but they haven't even given our ask for advanced peace is not even 1% of that. And I know we're doing more than 1% of the work. So I think that they should give that attention and some resources to community-based organizations because they're the closest to the ground. We can actually check the pulse of the people we serve, and we won't have that top-down approach because not everybody wants to play basketball. Not everybody
Right.
like rap music, but they have to have like a wraparound service. It might be a guy that wants to play an instrument, and I know there's several people that like computer tech stuff. So we should get it from the people that are going to receive the services instead of recreating a real. And like me, I'm almost 50 years old. I can't think like a 14-year-old or 25-year-old. So I may come up with something that they feel is totally lame, and that's how it usually ends up. Come up with something for these high school kids. They like go to the skating rink with your parent, but only a handful of people actually want to go skating. You got to just really include the people that you serve in these decisions, and I don't see that happening in none of the spaces that I'm in.
Thank you. So let me ask you guys another question, young folks. Um, okay, just in the year. So let's go to year 2020. Um, Julian, in the year 2020, did you have some? Did you lose any? Do you know any youth that died to gun violence?
Yeah, like I don't know if I'm talking about like I mean even in Stockton alone, you look at just the homicide numbers, most of them like under 18. So
Dang. What about you, Nick?
No, but I'm having connection issues. What did
You can
you
if you
say?
want to,
Did you say
you can
my
come in
name?
here. I can see your name, but if you want to come in here, you can transition in here. Terrion, did you guys have a lot of loss to gun violence here for you
Okay.
personally?
Yeah.
What so if you say can you count on one hand?
Yeah.
Can you count on two hands?
Uh-uh.
What about you all in St. Louis? Is there anybody in this group in St. Louis that can count on more than one hand how many people that you have lost or know died to gun violence within the past couple of years?
Well, within the past couple of years, I would say since like maybe 2018. Yeah, personally, I've lost a lot of people to gun violence. Um,
And when do you guys know how, do you guys have access to like counseling or anything when it comes to like grieving or how to deal with grieving?
Listen, no, I know like some schools, sometimes when a student dies at their school, like they have kind of a space where students can go and probably talk to your counselor for a little bit, but it's not really effective. Yeah.
I seen the young man with the hat on and the red shirt shaking your head.
Tavion.
It's hard because I can't see. I just see the thing, but I don't see everybody's name. What about you, sweetheart? Do you have access to counseling or um,
Uh, yeah, but I shook my head because it really doesn't help.
what do you mean? Say more.
Like I like go talk to him, but I feel like I'm missing somewhere. Like I still need something to like help me out with it. Like just talking about it doesn't help.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like they acknowledge it, like especially if it's a death at a school, like they'll acknowledge that a student has died, but they kind of just like, all right, time to go back to what we usually do after a certain point.
Perry, on, I know that you and I have talked about counseling and being able to access it. Um, do you feel like was it easy for you to access counseling?
Mm, yeah.
Is it helpful?
Yeah, it's helpful. Now it is.
Did you get counseling when you needed it?
Uh-uh.
I seen Aaron, you come off. I know that at some point you even needed counseling at some point, and know a lot of people that do. What do you think about those being able to access it?
That's my I have a real concern when it comes to that because in high school I've been in. My daughter passed away. They had this huge circle, and all of the children came out because it was a tragedy. But the counseling didn't come with any follow up, and the person that was the clinician didn't relate because she didn't understand the culture and she didn't look like it. So you
Mm,
get they in that particular situation, they did offer it, and it was only for one day. So the follow up was much needed, and it was for somebody that didn't understand that this was something that was happening more often than not in
mm,
our community. So it was like, oh, this is the tragedy. This shouldn't have happened. But in my opinion, I'm like, this always happens. So how do we convince our youth that they're not going crazy? They shouldn't be comfortable with losing loved ones at this rate. Like this is not okay, and it shouldn't happen. You have to just get used to it, like he told him. It was like, okay, y'all said what y'all said. Now go back to class.
mm. So one of the concrete team leaders that I work with asked a question in the chat. He wants to know, when you guys hear the word trauma, what comes to mind?
Yeah.
And that's for any of you. I know I'm asking questions that you don't often get to think about, but but yeah, it's because we're not going to know. So when you hear trauma, what comes to mind?
When I hear trauma, I think of like a stuck point or an emotional barrier that's caused by something.
Mm. Nick, When you hear trauma,
I was
what comes
thinking
to
about
mind, man?
everybody. I was thinking about everybody because I feel like everybody has some type of undiscovered trauma in their life. I feel like even a lot of people don't even be realizing they traumatized sometimes, like having a controlling parent or something like that. Just really small things can traumatize people emotionally. And I think it's just something that we take very lightly as a community, like in general.
I know in Sacramento, there was a young man, Stephon Clark, who was shot and killed in his backyard by the police. Um, he had a cell phone, and they shot and killed him. Um, After that, they created a counseling circle called Safe Black Space, and it was specifically for Black people, and it was in Black communities. Do you guys have access to community programs like that in your neighborhoods in St. Louis?
If we do, I've never heard of one.
Okay. And I'm laughing only because the irony of it. I'm not saying it's funny because it ain't funny. And so if you had, so when you think of a safe Black space, what comes to mind? Like, what would you imagine a safe Black space to look like?
Like what we doing now, like this the program we in.
Mm-hmm.
This whole little program is like a safe Black space.
Mm. Wow. What about you guys here, Terrion? When you hear safe Black space, what comes to mind to you? What would you want to see in that space?
Um, uh, safe environment. I don't really know.
Do you ever feel safe in your environment?
Yeah.
Do you feel safe in all of your environments? I know I'm putting you on the spot. This is me putting him on the spot. He know it too.
Nah. No.
Nick and Joellen, what do you guys feel like we need in order to have safe Black spaces in Black communities?
You need a whole lot of things. I feel like in order to, I don't know. I feel like, are we gonna say what we need or what we want to see in safe Black spaces?
Yeah, your internet's jacked up.
We say what we want in safe Black spaces.
Oh, it's the whole thing. Hold on one second. The whole thing just did it.
Uh,
Nick, can you hear me?
yeah,
Okay, we can't hear you.
you can hear me.
Nah, it's the connection. Okay, so St. Louis, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Foster? Oh, he raising his hand while he's driving. Why did y'all tell me that Foster was raising his hand while he was driving? Yes, Foster.
I wanted to know what's safe. Like, what do you mean when you say safe? Because when I hear safe Black spaces, I'm insulted a lot because we shouldn't even have to push that. Like, why do we have to have a safe black space instead of addressing the problem? So I would like to know what is a safe black space, and what do you mean when you say safe, or what do our guests think of when they hear safety, so that we can have a definition of what safety is to us as a whole.
Well, I don't know, y'all. What is safe? When you hear safe, what even comes to mind? What makes a community safe?
To me, it's somewhere like I could go to talk about like whatever I want to talk about, especially like issues I feel like are simply Black issues, where I could go and talk to my people about whatever I'm feeling strongly about, and be able to talk about that stuff like in confidence, knowing that just I can speak freely and say what I want to say. then somewhere I'm like
I think there was one more thing that I want to lift up. Hold on. So I'm gonna have I'm gonna have Catherine come in here. So for all of those that are in you guys transition in here to the Wi-Fi. And okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I had to remove everybody off because everybody is in the same building, and so our Wi-Fi was tripping. So what I want to do is just kind of wrapping it up. What I want to find out from you guys, when you hear the word safe community, what are some things that you need? Because the other thing that I want to know is if you had millions of dollars invested into your community to make it safe, what do you imagine would be present? What do you want to access?
One, I think accessible resources. I mean, that kind of looks different to each individual, but that's something that should be there.
To me personally, I'm gonna say somewhere that you could go, like regardless of the time of day, and go enjoy yourself. Because usually when I think of like rec centers or community centers, a lot of the limits on them at the time limit, like you can only be in there a certain amount of time, or it's gonna close at this certain amount of time. And I know a lot of people who probably would stay in a rec center.
You can come over here, but tell Nick to come out.
Like 12 hours if they could, or stay. Like if I go tell these guys let's go play basketball somewhere, I know that we can go in there when the gym open and we'll stay till the gym closed, however long that'd be. So somewhere just people can be whenever, regardless of the time.
Yeah. With here, our community centers, you guys, do the youth have access to our community centers? And first of all, do they have access? You can just come over here.
Like the Boys and Girls Club and shit?
Yeah.
The only time I've ever been there was school, like field trips and stuff. Like, I don't think it's still open. Yeah, I don't think you could just go there anymore. And the last time it's been like that was when, I don't think that we was in high school when it was like that, right? I think it was middle school last time. You was able to just go any given day.
Do they have activities that you guys can participate in?
Heck yeah, that's why it sucks that it's closed. They have a music studio. No,
and which one?
At the Boys Girls Club right here. They have a real music recording studio, bowling alley, basketball court, a theater. They got a heck of stuff in there. They got Wi-Fi in there.
And you're talking about the Pedestal Center, Youth Pedestal Center? Okay. So they actually do have a youth center that's closed. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So do you guys, what kind of activities do they have in the community centers that you are able to access for whatever period of time?
Courts.
Really just basketball court. You might have like your little like this little sanction rooms, that has a little tables and chairs that you might be able to, go sign up for and you get your designated room. But besides that, like basketball courts, you might get a pool and a playground for the kids, but that's about it.
Wow. So I want to, I'm going to wrap us up in this space right here. So the conversation was centered around how are the children? And so you guys all, with your ages, you guys are on the higher spectrum when it comes. I don't look at you and see children. I see youth and young adult, which is older. Teenagers now, y'all out there having to live some hard lives, especially Black teenagers. So when you think about your siblings, if you have siblings, the ones that are younger than you, I want you guys to tell us, how are they doing? How is life for them?
I mean, Well, I have a lot of siblings, so they really they don't really get out. So it's like they don't really have nothing to worry about, but until they step out the house, you
So
don't
their
get.
safe space is in the house. They have to stay in the house.
They don't have to, but it's like it's really not nothing to do. So
That's where they are.
that's what they are. Yeah.
And what about you guys? How do you guys see the children here?
I don't have that. Like, all my siblings are older than me, but I know, really besides like sports, even with my younger siblings, like, or my younger like cousins and things, I know that usually they are, like he said, are in the house, and if they are doing something, it's something like sports or it's extracurriculars. But besides that, it's not really anything to do. Like, it's especially things that are free or things that you can just kind of just go and do without, having to sign up, stuff like that. It's not really much to do. So it's just be in the house.
Sports in school.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what is the difference between your community and the white community, or the communities that have, like, when you see communities that have, and I'm saying white community now because I'm assuming those would be the ones that have, what do they have that your communities lack?
Really everything. The one that comes to mind is the district I went to school in called Clayton. And it's like, if you ask anyone from St. Louis, it's really their own almost town. Like, they have their own downtown and they really have everything you need. Like, if I tell people, if you're from there, especially like the white people that are from there, they don't have to leave their area for anything. They have grocery stores, doctors, dentists, all type of stuff that, like, if you don't want to leave that area, you really don't have to.
In the hotspots in Stockton, we were talking about grocery stores. Why would it even be important to have a grocery store? Like, do you think that that's an issue?
Yeah, I mean, even just off tops on having, like, just even having to stay in your community and not have to walk. Like, your liquor store is closer than your grocery store.
Did y'all hear what he said?
Yeah,
Is that the same? Y'all resonate with that?
we had the same discussion. And
Yeah.
What
And
about in Fresno? Go ahead, babe.
it's usually more liquor stores than grocery stores. Like, I can name 3 or 4 liquor stores, but I know the closest grocery store is, like, it's close, but it's only one close one versus like 3 or 4 close liquor stores.
Foster, what about in Fresno?
I think Fresno is progressive, so they came up with an ordinance that they won't allow any new liquor stores in Southwest Fresno. That's where the poverty is predominant. We only have one grocery store, but they have plans to build more. So the disparities of places to go get groceries, it exists. But here's a big but. I think that it's a disservice to our community. Not only that we don't have grocery stores, but we don't have businesses owned by that people that look like us. So all the money that's being made in our community is funneled out to someplace else. So people come in our community, extract all the money, and take it back to where they live and pay taxes on it. I think that we should push entrepreneurship. We have the right people in the building right there with you all over the country that have brilliant minds. That if given the opportunity, they can come up with some lucrative business.
Okay. All right. So, do you guys, like I said, the last question is, and this is just a yes or no, really. Do you really feel like our city governments need to invest more money, more dollars into the Black communities in order for gun violence to come down? You
And you
think
say
that that
hell
would
yeah.
you think it would help?
I think that it would change the dynamics of our community immensely. Again, I say it all the time. Business owners don't do drive-bys. So that would change our culture if we had people who had sustainable incomes that they create instead of having to be slaves to the workforce.
Mhm. Do you guys have jobs access for the youth for jobs in St. Louis?
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah,
Easy access for youth to work?
Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, because in my head, when I think of a place like that anyone can work, it's Six Flags. I know they are really open to hiring young people, people with no experience. Because to me, that was like everybody's first job when we were turning 15. Like I had 10, 12 friends just going to Six Flags and working there.
And how old are you again?
I'm 18 now.
Okay. And Joellen, what about here in Stockton? Are there, or Nick, or Terrion, do you have access to jobs? Yes,
It's hard though.
you do. You said it's just hard. You said yes, you do have access to work. Okay. What's hard about getting it?
Like just for like people in general.
No, I'm talking about now. Yeah, for you. Yeah, for Black people, for Black youth, for background. Yeah,
I feel like they hold background checks. I feel like they hold us more accountable than other races too when it comes to background checks. And even like just as simple as having tattoos, because I've been to job interviews where I had to wear long sleeves, and they told me like, you feel me, this might be a reason why like they look at me differently. But I've been to places where hella white motherfuckers look like coloring books. You feel me?
Yeah,
coloring books.
Tattoos
that's real.
so popular nowadays. Niggas have teardrop. People have teardrops and don't even know what it's for. Like tattoos have become so meaningless now. So I'm like, why is it a problem? I got tattoos. It be motherfuckers in here look like it's hot topic. Like that don't make no sense.
You look at what jobs they do it for. It's like I've been working in government jobs, never got drug tested.
Oh, wow.
Places like Home Depot, or I go to workplaces like Six Flags, or I go to workplaces that are local, they drug test.
Exactly. Even Amazon don't fucking drug test no more. They were like, yeah, that's some bullshit. We don't need to be doing that.
So you guys feel like there are some biases that maybe that you guys are thinking.
They was like, where was we gonna go? Type shit. I feel like they be low key doing stuff to make sure, like, okay, we know Black people in this community probably know hella weed. Everyone over here, y'all better drug test for weed.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Drug test too. So do you guys experience some of those barriers where you guys are?
Most definitely. With him talking about like the white people looking like coloring books, that was the job I work at now. They told us before we got hired, like you can't have no visible tattoos. And my first day at the job, somebody from HR came downstairs. It was a taller white guy, tattoos all over his body, like neck, arms, and he's wearing short sleeves, like super normal. And he works at HR upstairs, so if they have an issue with my tattoos, they send it to him. So that's the thing.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, that's what kind of caught me off guard, because they made sure they told us, like, yeah, if you have tattoos, we don't want to see them. Like, you can't have any tattoos that show. And on my first day, that was one of the first people I saw.
Wow. Wow. Foster, what were you going to say?
What I was going to say? Did you say Foster?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that they criminalize our culture or our fads. So whatever's popular, I won't say they, but I would say some people. Even in Fresno, they have a club that won't let you in if you have gold chains. No, or face tattoos. No gold chains, no face tattoos. I was like, well, they don't want no black people in here because that's the trend right now to have a bunch of gold chains. I mean, fortunately, I should say, I'm too old to go to that particular club, so it won't affect me, and I don't wear gold chains. But that's just modern discrimination, so they can come up with a rule to keep us out. When they should have just put no N words allowed. Just be upfront.
Okay, y'all. So this has been helpful for me. I done learned a lot just talking to y'all, period. And I think that what I want to do is I'm going to come off of live in order for us to just have a few more words in dialogue. And I know my folks is here ready to like eat their food because their food just got here. And that's how come they don't walked away from the cameras and stuff. I see you reaching too. She reaching too. But I do appreciate you guys just tapping in order to just talk about how the children are and what you guys how you guys perceive community safety. And if you guys, I want to ask you a question really quick. Last question: is gun violence? Do you guys experience a high amount of gun violence in St. Louis?
Most definitely. That's an everyday, like all day thing.
Do you think that it impacts your community and Black communities more than it impacts other communities?
Most definitely. Like even if you just look at the statistics of if you live in this neighborhood versus if you live in this like more white area, what's your life expectancy? It's a complete difference.
Mm. And I'm sorry, Nick, you would say y'all was gun violence an issue here?
Hell yeah. I would say for sure in St. Louis, so you already know.
Oh,
because when we in Louisiana, we hear nigga, we know about St. Louis. They be getting down to St. Louis. They go down. See, that's the problem. See, so much gun violence, it's damn near like it's not. I don't know, like the way we talk.
The only thing we know.
Like it's like niggas really be online arguing about like nigga St. Louis get down way more than New Orleans. Nigga, you lying on my mama, nigga. Oh, in Texas and Houston they get down. What is you talking about? Like niggas argue over what city killed more.
wow.
Yeah.
That's facts. I don't know that.
Wow.
Because we hella desensitized to it.
Desensitized to it?
They probably don't even know.
Yeah, it's just something you used to. Yeah.
Because even I'll be like telling people like, what you talking about? Baton Rouge be going down, boy.
So is there any hope? Do you guys see that? Do you believe that there's any hope?
For sure.
I don't want to say no, but as long as there's this many white people elected in office, no. It don't even have to be Black. Like we just need minorities in general.
Okay, wait. I can't turn the thing around. Well, I can, but I mean, if you come around here, just
As soon as we get not all, but as soon as we get these white folks that's elected in the office out of the office, we're gonna see some change because it's white people. There's a couple white minorities maybe in the LGBT community, but other than that, there's no white minorities, so they're not dealing with no minority problems. Why would they care about what we going through? As much as it sounds like we want them to care, if they still getting paid, they still getting fed, their kids still go to school, they don't care about the hood because they not minorities.
Yeah, they just gonna say they care. They gonna act like they care for their little
image.
Yeah, however long they running, and whenever they get elected, like them issues just to the side.
so what do we need to do in order to change that? Yeah.
To me, it's going out and voting too. I talked to some people of my age about that, like this last election. I think it's still important to go out and vote. I think people don't realize that like your vote still matter, even if you don't care about who the president is. When you go out, that's not the only thing on that ballot. So still go out and vote. I think that mean a lot. But also, bringing up people in your community, like trying to make an effort in your community as well.
So community advocacy and voting.
Yeah, I was about to say voting for sure because we don't vote, and when we vote, we don't be knowing what we're voting for.
Yeah.
Okay, so civic education, just being informed in the community about what it is those ballot initiatives and different things are. Okay, Well, this has been helpful. Y'all helping me. Y'all helping me in a big way. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and that's educating folks. But I'm also actually shifting now and leaning more into you young adults, because you guys are the ones that actually need to be pushed forward. And I know that it's like pulling teeth sometimes with you guys, but that's because, to be very honest with you, for Nick, Terrion, Juelian, for you three, I believe it's like pulling teeth because no one's really putting you in the front. And because no one's putting you in the front on a regular, when you get in the front, you're like, okay,
I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to
'Cause I be
say.
feeling like we see heck of people in the front and don't nothing be happening when they say something. But I also do understand like we just gotta keep putting more effort and it's not gonna happen right away. It just be like, damn, we've been waiting so long.
Yeah.
Like every time we have conversations, I think of the Martin Luther King quote when he's like, "Wait rings in the ear of every Negro in America because we're fucking tired of waiting."
Wow.
That nigga been going and we still waiting. It's like, damn, what the fuck gonna happen? Like, damn.
Right.
Still gonna be waiting. Yeah, waiting.
Right.
So you guys, like I said, thank you for tapping in today. I appreciate you and I appreciate your voices. It won't be the last time that I connect with you all for sure. I think that we should probably just jump into a cyberspace, not live, and just chop it up, have conversation. So I'm gonna talk to Courtney, and say, where's she at anyway?
She's checking. Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell her I said bye. We'll talk to her later from Stockton, California. We appreciate you guys. We're going to make Julian talk louder. We're trying to get him to say it with his chest. It's a little difficult though, but we're working on it. And you guys have a wonderful day. What time is it down there?
It's
1:50.
1:50. Oh, it's time for y'all to tap out anyway. We finna eat and then we gone for the day too. So we'll talk to you guys soon. I appreciate you guys and the work that you're doing down there. You guys stay up.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you. Peace.